Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through the 18.1 Part 2 Graphing Polynomial Functions worksheet. Okay, so first one we have here is number 1. Find all rational zeros and sketch a graph showing the zeros. So our zeros will be at, it's what makes each one of these things equal to 0. So positive 3 minus 3 is 0. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And 1 minus 1 is 0. Okay, so if we're going to sketch this graph, what we want to do is we want to put our axes on here. And we know we're going to have an x-intercept at 3. We're also going to have one at 1. And we're going to have one at negative 1. Okay, since this is negative, we know that this function ends up going down here. So what we want to do is start down there, and we're going to come back up through here. Go through there, back up through there, and it's going to roughly look like that. Okay? Number 3, we want to make each one of these equal to 0, so zeros. Super important to remember this one here, so if we make that a 0, this whole thing will equal to 0. Also, if we put 6 minus 6 will give us 0, and 1 minus 1 will give us 0. So we sketch those on our, sketch those on our graph here. We've got one at 0, one at 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's our 6. Sorry, had a hard time counting there. A little scary. So this is positive, so it ends up going up. So then it's going to go down through here. Now this is a bigger distance than this, so that means that this loop should go down farther. Goes back up here and probably have a little loop here and looks something roughly like that. Okay? Alright, now we've got 5. The zeros here are going to be at negative 1 plus 1 gives us 0, but this has also got a squared on it, so this is what we call a double 0. Okay, and then we also have a 0 at negative 7 plus 7 gives us 0. So if we go to graph this one, we're going to want to have 1 at negative 1 and then also at negative 7. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is negative, so it ends up by going down this way. Now negative 1 is a double, so that means it's just going to bounce off of that there, but it is going to cut through negative 7 and it'll come up here and come down here, and instead of going through, it's just going to bounce off of that and go back up. Okay? Okay, 7 zeros on this are negative 1 plus 1 is 0, but that's again a double 0. And then 4x minus 1, we want to set that equal to 0, so we can normally just say, figure that out pretty easy, but this one here we might want to do 4x minus 1 equals 0, add 1 to both sides. 4x equals positive 1. Divide both sides by 4. So x is 1/4 is our other 0. Okay? Shortcut, easy way to doing that is this number here always gets moved to the other side, so it's always the opposite of this number, so it would be positive 1, and we divide by whatever's in front of the x, so it would be positive 1 over 4, which we have there. Okay? You don't have to do that, but that's just a little way to save you a little bit of time. Okay, so we got 1 0 at negative 1, and then the other 0 is at 1/4, so we'll call that about right there. This is positive, so it ends up going up. The 1/4 is a regular 0, and then the negative 1 is a double 0, so it's going to look like this. Cut through there, come up here, and bounce off of that, and go back down. Okay? Alright, that's all we have for the 18.1 Part 2 worksheet. If you have any further questions, please feel free to ask. Thanks.